Welcome to the quantum realm. Here is something that will disturb you. Not to unsettle you, but to wake you. You have been speaking to the field your entire life. Affirmations, prayers, declarations, visualizations, and yet, the field has not been listening to your words. It never was. Because the field doesn't speak the language of syllables. It doesn't decode sentences. It has no ears for your intentions announced into the mirror at 6 a.m. The field reads something far older, far more precise. And the moment you understand what that is, not intellectually, but in the body and the breath, in the electromagnetic signature that pulses from your chest, everything you thought you knew about manifestation, about prayer, about reality creation will dissolve. What remains will be the truth. Stay with this. Before we go further, pause for just a moment. If something in your body responded to those opening words, a subtle shift, a quickening, a sense of recognition, that is not coincidence. That is signal. Like this video to lock that signal in place. Drop a comment below. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Because what unfolds next only deepens from here. Let's begin at the root of the illusion you were taught. Through conditioning, through culture, through the accumulated weight of a civilization built on separation. That reality is something out there. Something that happens to you. Something you influence by doing, by saying, by performing the right sequence of mental operations. Affirmation, repetition, visualization, willpower. This is the 3D model of creation, and it is not entirely wrong. But it is profoundly incomplete, because it places the source of power outside the self, in the words chosen, in the ritual performed, in the frequency of repetition. It makes you a beggar petitioning the universe, rather than what you actually are, a node of the field itself. Quantum mechanics has been trying to tell us something for over a century. The observer doesn't just watch the experiment. The observer collapses the wave function. The observer determines which potential becomes real. This is not metaphor. This is laboratory science. And the ancient teachers knew this long before the laboratories existed. Thoth, in the Hermetic traditions, called it the principle of correspondence, as within, so without. The Arcturian Council, those multidimensional intelligences who have guided awakening consciousness for millennia, transmit a consistent signal. The field does not respond to your requests. It responds to your resonance. These are not the same thing. A request is a word. A resonance is a state. And the field, that vast, invisible, intelligent quantum substrate that underlies all form, reads states, not words. This is the framework. Now let us go deeper. To understand what the field actually responds to, you must first understand what the field is. The field is not empty space. Science has confirmed what mystics have always transmitted. What appears to be the vacuum of space is in fact a seething, dynamic, information-dense medium. Quantum physicists call it the zero-point field. The Hermetic traditions called it the Akasha. The Arcturian transmissions refer to it as the harmonic grid, a planetary and galactic lattice of coherent intelligence that interpenetrates all matter, all biology, all consciousness. It is not passive. It is responsive. But here is what the conditioning obscures. The field does not respond to the content of your thoughts. It responds to the coherence of your energetic state. It responds to the electromagnetic signature your heart field broadcasts. A field that the HeartMath Institute has measured extending several feet outside the physical body. A field that is real, measurable, and constantly transmitting. Now, what is that field broadcasting? Most of the time, without our awareness, it is broadcasting a fragmented signal, a signal of wanting, of lack, of the subtle but devastating belief that what you desire is separate from you. And so the field, reading that frequency, reflects it back. More separation, more wanting, more distance between you and the reality you're attempting to call in. This is not punishment. This is physics. Sophia, that primordial intelligence, the cosmic feminine principle at the heart of Gnostic wisdom, encoded this teaching into the very structure of creation. The universe mirrors your inner architecture, not your stated preferences, your actual vibrational signature, your quantum signature. And here is where fear, doubt, and ego are so profoundly misunderstood. You have been taught to treat them as enemies, to suppress them, to raise your vibration past them as quickly as possible. But this is a fundamental error. Fear is not an obstacle to field alignment. It is information. It is a signal that your attention has collapsed, that you have contracted from the expansive awareness of the observer into the cramped perspective of the conditioned self. Fear is a compass, not a cage. Doubt is not a sign that you are failing at manifestation. Doubt is a sign that the ego is attempting to navigate territory that belongs to the field, not to the small self. When these states arise, and they will, the trained consciousness does not fight them. It reads them. It uses them as navigational data. This is the difference between a 3D creator, someone who struggles, forces, and performs, and a quantum-aligned co-creator, someone who observes, who calibrates, who operates from coherence rather than an effort. The Arcturian Council transmits this consistently. You cannot force the field to respond. You can only become coherent enough that the field recognizes itself in you. When that recognition occurs, when the field encounters a consciousness that is broadcasting wholeness rather than fragmentation, the response is not slow. It is not gradual. It is instantaneous at the level of potential and rapid at the level of form. Timeline shifts. Synchronicities. Doors that open without your hand touching them. But you must first understand how to generate that coherence, how to broadcast the right signal. That is what we turn to now. The state the field responds to has a name. In quantum language, we call it coherence. In spiritual language, it has been called presence, stillness, surrender, love. The Arcturian transmissions call it harmonic anchoring. The act of stabilizing your electromagnetic signature into a pattern that mirrors the intelligence of the field itself. It is not a feeling you perform. It is a state you inhabit. And you can learn to enter it. Consistently. Deliberately. Even when the outer world is loud. Step 1. Cease the narration. Right now, notice how your mind is continuously generating commentary. A running stream of assessment, evaluation, memory, projection. This narration is not you. It is the conditioned program running on top of your awareness. And as long as it is running at full volume, it is generating signal noise. Static that obscures the clean frequency of the field. You do not have to stop the mind. Attempting to silence the mind by force creates more turbulence. Instead, simply notice the narration. Become the one who is aware of the thoughts, rather than the thoughts themselves. This is the observer shift. It is subtle. It is profound. And it changes everything. Step 2. Drop into the body. The field is not accessed through the intellect. It is accessed through the body. Specifically through the coherent electromagnetic field generated by the heart. Place your attention in the center of your chest, not on the organ, on the field around it. Breathe slowly, not performatively, naturally and deeply. 3 counts in. Pause. 5 counts out. As you exhale, release the grip of the narrating mind. Let your attention soften from focal to peripheral. You are not trying to think the right thoughts. You are becoming a clear transmitter. Step 3. Shift from wanting to being. This is the most precise adjustment, and the most difficult for the conditioned mind to execute. The default frequency of the ordinary self is the frequency of wanting. Wanting broadcasts slack. Wanting says to the field, what I desire is not here yet. And the field, as a coherent mirror, maintains that not yetness. The quantum-aligned state is not wanting, it is being. It is inhabiting, even briefly, the energetic signature of the reality you are co-creating. Not as imagination, not as fantasy, but as a genuine state of felt coherence. Not I want abundance, but the felt sense of sufficiency, of flow, of ease, held in the body as a present reality. Not I want love, but the electromagnetic signature of already being whole, already complete, already connected to the intelligent love that underlies all of creation. The field reads this. It reads the state, not the statement. Recognizing the signs of activation, when you have genuinely entered this state, even for a moment,
there are recognizable signals. A sudden clarity that requires no effort. A softening of the chest. A sense that time has become slightly elastic, slightly more spacious. You may notice a tingling at the crown or the hands. Light code activation, the body's bioenergetic field responding to coherence. Synchronicities will begin to appear. Not as dramatic miracles, but as subtle alignments. The message that arrives precisely when needed. The conversation that opens an unexpected door. The thought that lands with unusual precision.
These are not coincidences. These are the field responding to your signal, stabilizing the observer state. The challenge is not entering coherence. Most people touch it accidentally in moments of deep joy, creativity, or stillness. The challenge is stabilizing it, building the capacity to return to it deliberately and to hold it long enough for the field to register and respond. This requires practice. Specifically, it requires what we might call perceptual clearing. The regular intentional releasing of energetic static that accumulates through reactivity, emotional suppression, and unconscious patterning. Each time you react to an external event, each time fear, frustration, or urgency hijacks your electromagnetic field, your coherent signal degrades. You drop back into static, and the field again reflects fragmentation. The practice is simple. When you notice the degradation, do not judge it. Do not spiral into self-criticism, which only amplifies the incoherence. Simply notice. Return to the body. Return to the breath. Drop again into the observer position. Every return to coherence, no matter how brief, is a transmission. Every moment of genuine stillness is a quantum event. The field registers it on energetic blocks and conditioned patterns. Many of you carry what the Arcturian Council refers to as energetic distortions. Compressed patterns held in the body's field, often installed in childhood, often pre-verbal, that automatically degrade coherence when activated. These are not character flaws. They are energy structures, and energy structures can be updated. The first step is recognition, identifying the body sensation. The chest tightening, the throat constricting, the gut-level contraction that signals a conditioned pattern is running. These sensations are not problems to be solved. They are locations. They show you exactly where the coherence block lies. When you locate it, bring the quality of neutral, carrying attention to that location, not to analyze it, not to fix it, simply to observe it. The observer itself, when applied with consistency and gentleness, is the most powerful clearing tool available to human consciousness. You are not broken. You are carrying compressed signal, and the signal, when met with the observer's steady attention, can, and does, begin to reorganize. The breath supports this. The body softens. The field, sensing the restoration of coherence, begins to respond. This is the practice. Not a single dramatic event, but a discipline of return. An ongoing choice to restore signal clarity whenever it degrades, and with time, with repetition. The coherent state becomes your resting state, your baseline frequency, your natural transmission. This is when the field begins to move in unmistakable ways. We have arrived at the level of mastery. And the first thing that must be said at this level is this: mastery is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not perform. The truly coherent consciousness does not work harder to manifest. It effaces itself more completely. It becomes more transparent to the field's intelligence, less insistent on the ego's agenda. This is the paradox at the center of all genuine quantum co-creation. The moment you stop pursuing results, results begin to organize themselves around you. Not because the universe rewards passivity, but because pursuit is a frequency of separation. And when separation dissolves, when you have genuinely released the grip of the small self's agenda, what remains is the field's own intelligence, operating through you with a precision no human plan could engineer. The Arcturian Council refers to this as sovereign co-creation, the state in which the individual consciousness and the field intelligence operate as one coherent system, each contributing without conflict. The human provides the vessel, the anchor point in physical reality. The field provides the organizing intelligence, the synchronistic architecture, the timeline navigation. Your role is not to figure out how.
Your role is to remain coherent enough that the how can move through you. On timeline shifts and dimensional navigation, many of you have already noticed, perhaps without fully naming it, that your experience of reality has become less fixed in recent months. That timeline seemed to be accelerating, compressing, and occasionally appearing to branch. That choices which once felt small now carry unusual weight. That certain doors close with unusual finality, while others open before you've even reached for the handle. This is not imagination. The planetary field, the harmonic grid, is currently undergoing a compression event that Arcturian transmissions have been signaling for years. Frequencies are elevating. The gap between inner state and outer reflection is narrowing. What once took months to manifest now takes weeks. What took weeks may take days.
This acceleration is both invitation and demand. It is an invitation to step into genuine coherence, to become the anchor of light-coded frequency that this moment requires. And it is a demand in the sense that incoherence, fragmentation, and unexamined conditioning will generate turbulence at an accelerating rate. The souls who navigate this transition most gracefully are not the most intellectually sophisticated. They are the most present, the most rooted in the observer state, the most capable of returning to coherence quickly when the outer world generates disturbance. This is your preparation. This is why the practice matters. Unconscious co-creation and frequency matching. Here's a precision teaching that separates quantum literacy from spiritual bypassing. You do not create reality by imagining it hard enough. You align with realities that already exist as potentials, quantum possibilities within the superposition of the field. By becoming frequency coherent with them, every potential reality you might inhabit has a vibrational signature, a felt quality, an electromagnetic texture. And when your inner state, your body's field, your heart's coherence, your nervous system's baseline, matches that signature, the two fields begin to resonate. And resonance in quantum physics is not metaphor. Resonance is entanglement. It is the mechanism by which the observer and the observed become one. Sophia's wisdom encoded in the Gnostic traditions speaks to this precisely. The divine intelligence does not impose form from without. It calls form into being from within. The universe does not push you toward your potential. It resonates with the version of you who has already become it. This is why inner state must precede outer form. This is why no amount of external action compensates for internal incoherence. You can take every right step and still find the door locked, because the frequency required to open it has not yet been stabilized within. And you can take no visible action at all and find entire architectures of opportunity assembling themselves around you. Because the frequency is clean, the signal is clear, and the field has recognized itself in you. Harmonic anchoring in daily life. Advanced practice does not require ceremony or isolation. The most sophisticated work happens inside ordinary moments. Inside the traffic, inside the difficult conversation, inside the moment of unexpected disappointment when the conditioned self rises to react. Every moment of non-reaction is a quantum event. Every time you choose observation over reaction. Every time you feel the contraction of old patterning and return instead to the breathed space of the observer. You are performing a timeline selection. You are choosing the version of reality that matches coherence over the version that matches the conditioned program. This is not spiritual performance. It is energetic precision. It is the most sophisticated form of navigation available to a consciousness in physical form. The Arcturian Council transmits a simple phrase that contains multitudes. Anchor where you are, and the grid anchors with you. This means your coherence is not only personal, it is planetary. Every human consciousness that stabilizes into genuine harmonic coherence contributes to the collective grid. The planetary field of awareness that either elevates or degrades based on the aggregate of individual signals. You are not merely manifesting your personal reality. You are influencing the collective field. Your coherence is a gift, not performed for others, not weaponized as spiritual identity, but genuine, quiet, persistent signal that the harmonic grid registers and responds to. The mastery signal. You will know you are moving into genuine mastery. Not because your outer life becomes effortless, but because your relationship to turbulence changes. Challenges will still arise. Uncertainty will still present itself. But you will meet these moments with a steadiness that surprises you. A capacity to remain in the observer position, even when the content of experience is difficult. This is not detachment. Detachment is an ego defense. This is presence.
the capacity to be fully with what is, without being consumed by it. To feel fully without losing the thread of the observer's awareness. If you can remain present enough, right now, to feel the silence behind these words, to sense the subtle field quality of this transmission, then something in you has already shifted. You are not the same person who pressed play on this video. The field has registered that shift. Even if you cannot yet see what it is organizing, stay coherent. Stay present. Trust the signal that is already moving.
Here is what has been transmitted today. The field does not respond to your words. It responds to your state, to the coherence of your electromagnetic signature, to the frequency you embody. Not perform, not declare, but genuinely inhabit. You are not a petitioner sending requests into the void. You are a node of the field itself, capable of resonating, anchoring, and co-creating with an intelligence that has always been present, always been responsive, and always been waiting for a signal clear enough to recognize. The practice is simple. The discipline is real. The results are not promised. They are physics. Now, here is my question for you. From which part of the world are you watching this transmission? Drop your country or city in the comments below. Let's see how far this signal has reached.